Ladies and gentlemen, when someone is always on your mind without any communication, it often signifies a deep emotional connection. This connection can manifest in various ways: love, admiration, unresolved emotions, or even an unspoken bond that continues to exist beyond words or physical presence. The mind has a way of holding on to people who've left a lasting impact, whether in a romantic, platonic, or even spiritual sense. One of the most common reasons for constantly thinking about someone is love. Love does not always require direct interaction. Sometimes it thrives in the quiet spaces between words and actions. When you feel deeply connected to someone, your thoughts naturally drift to them. You wonder how they are, what they're doing, and whether they ever think of you too. This emotional attachment can be so strong that even in the absence of communication, they continue to occupy a space in your heart and mind. In some cases, this deep emotional connection is linked to admiration. It might not be romantic, but rather a deep respect or appreciation for who they are. Another layer to this connection is nostalgia. The human mind tends to romanticize the past, remembering the good moments more vividly than the bad. If this person was once a significant part of your life, your mind might naturally revisit memories, creating a sense of emotional presence even in their absence. This is why people often think of old friends, past lovers, or mentors who influenced them. The emotions tied to those memories keep the person alive in one's thoughts. On a deeper level, an emotional connection can also be a reflection of one's own inner world. Sometimes it's not just about the person, but about what they represent in your life. They may symbolize a particular phase of your journey, a lesson learned, or even a version of yourself that you associate with them. For example, if this person was present during a time of growth, love, or self-discovery, thinking about them might actually be your mind's way of revisiting that part of yourself. Unfinished emotions also play a huge role in why someone stays on your mind. If there were unresolved feelings, whether love, regret, guilt, or even anger, your mind might keep bringing them back as a way of seeking closure. The subconscious does not like open loops. It wants to resolve unanswered questions. This is why people often think about ex-partners, estranged friends, or even people who left unexpectedly. The lack of communication does not erase the emotional weight they carry in your life. There is also a possibility of an energetic or spiritual connection. Many believe that when two souls share a deep bond, they remain connected beyond physical interactions. Some people even claim that thinking about someone frequently means that person is also thinking of them. While this is not scientifically proven, the idea of energy lingering between connected individuals is something that many spiritual traditions acknowledge. Ultimately, when someone is always in your thoughts without any communication, it is a sign that they hold emotional significance in your life. The nature of that significance varies. Sometimes it is love, sometimes it is admiration, sometimes it is unfinished business. But no matter the reason, it is important to acknowledge those thoughts and understand what they mean for you. Do they bring joy, pain, longing, or peace? Do they inspire action, or are they simply a part of your inner world? Recognizing the emotions attached to these persistent thoughts can help in understanding yourself better and deciding whether to hold on, reach out, or let go. When someone remains in your thoughts despite a lack of communication, it often signifies unfinished business. This can take many forms: unresolved emotions, unspoken words, or a chapter in your life that feels incomplete. The human mind naturally seeks closure, and when it doesn't get it, it continues to replay certain memories, scenarios, and what-ifs, keeping the person alive in your thoughts. One of the most common reasons for this lingering presence is unresolved emotions. Whether it is love, anger, regret, or sadness, these emotions create a mental and emotional attachment to someone even when they are no longer physically present in your life. When a relationship, whether romantic, friendship, or family, ends abruptly or without proper closure, the mind struggles to accept the absence. This is why you may find yourself thinking about someone long after they have exited your life. The emotions tied to them remain unresolved, and your mind continues to process the situation in search of an answer that never came. Regret is another powerful force that keeps someone in your thoughts. Maybe you wish you had said something differently, reacted another way, or taken a chance when you had the opportunity. When you carry regret, your mind replays past interactions, searching for ways things could have gone differently. This mental loop can keep someone in your thoughts for years, even if there is no logical reason for their presence in your life anymore. The finished business in this case is not just about them, it is about you coming to terms with the choices you made and accepting that the past cannot be changed. Unspoken words also contribute to this feeling of incompleteness. Sometimes we never get the chance to express how we truly feel. Maybe you never told someone how much they meant to you, how much they hurt you, or how sorry you were for something that happened. These unspoken words create a mental weight that keeps the person alive in your thoughts, as if your subconscious is still searching for the right moment to say what was left unsaid. The mind clings to the possibility of one last conversation, one last chance to bring closure, even when reality does not allow it. Unfinished business is not always negative. Sometimes it is simply a deep emotional connection that was never fully explored. Perhaps you met someone who made a profound impact on your life, but circumstances never allowed the relationship to develop. It could be a love that never had the chance to grow, a friendship that faded before reaching its full depth, or a mentor who left too soon. In these cases, the mind keeps the person present because they represent a path not taken, a story left untold. Beyond individual emotions, unfinished business can also be about personal growth. Sometimes, the person you keep thinking about is a symbol of a phase in your life where you were growing, learning, or transforming. This is why people often think of past relationships when they are going through changes in their current life, because those relationships serve as markers of who they once were and who they are becoming. The only way to truly resolve unfinished business is through self-reflection and acceptance. If someone is on your mind because of unresolved emotions, it might be necessary to process those emotions fully, whether through writing, talking to a trusted friend, or even reaching out for closure if appropriate. If regret is keeping them in your thoughts, it is important to forgive yourself and recognize that every choice you made was based on who you were at that moment. If unspoken words are the issue, sometimes writing a letter, even if you never send it, can help bring emotional closure. Ultimately, the mind holds on to unfinished business because it is seeking resolution. If someone is always on your mind without communication, it may be a sign that you need to find that resolution within yourself, because sometimes closure does not come from the other person. It comes from you deciding to let go. When someone remains on your mind without any communication, it could be a sign of subconscious attachment. The human mind is complex, and it often clings to thoughts, memories, and emotions long after a person has physically left our lives. This attachment is not always conscious. Sometimes it operates in the background of our thoughts, influencing our emotions, behaviors, and even dreams. Subconscious attachment happens when your mind associates a person with deep emotions or significant life experiences. If someone played an important role in your life, whether as a romantic partner, friend, mentor, or even an adversary, your brain forms connections that are not easily broken. Even if you are no longer in contact with them, your subconscious continues to process their presence, holding on to the emotional impact they had on you. One of the main reasons for subconscious attachment is habit. When someone has been a regular part of your life, your mind becomes accustomed to their presence. The daily conversations, shared experiences, and emotional exchanges become ingrained in your mental patterns. When they are suddenly absent, your mind struggles to adjust to the void, replaying past memories as a way to fill the gap. This is why people often think about ex-partners or close friends long after they've stopped communicating. The mind is still wired to expect their presence. Another powerful force behind subconscious attachment is emotional conditioning. The brain forms neural pathways based on repeated experiences, which means that if someone made you feel loved, happy, or even hurt, your mind may continue to associate them with those emotions. For example, if a person was your source of comfort and support, your subconscious might automatically think of them in moments of stress or sadness, even if they are no longer available to you. On the other hand, if they caused you pain, your mind may keep revisiting those moments in an attempt to make sense of them or find closure. Subconscious attachment is also linked to unresolved emotions. If there are lingering feelings, whether love, resentment, regret, or longing, your mind continues to process those emotions in the background. This is why people often dream about individuals they haven't spoken to in years. The subconscious is still working through the emotions tied to them. Until those emotions are fully acknowledged and processed, the attachment remains, keeping the person present in your thoughts. There is also a psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect, which suggests that the brain tends to hold on to unfinished or interrupted tasks more than completed ones. This applies to relationships and personal connections as well. If a relationship ended abruptly or without proper closure, your mind may keep returning to that person, in an attempt to resolve what feels incomplete. This subconscious need for resolution can keep someone in your thoughts even when you consciously try to move on. Additionally, subconscious attachment can be influenced by external triggers. A familiar song, a certain scent, a particular place, or even a phrase can suddenly bring someone to mind. These triggers activate memories stored in the subconscious, making it seem as though the person has reappeared in your thoughts out of nowhere. In reality, your brain is simply responding to a stimulus that is associated with them. To break free from subconscious attachment, it is important to become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. Self-reflection can help you identify why this person remains in your mind and what unresolved emotions might be keeping them there. Allow you to process and release, into consciousness, such as reason and consciousness. The same concept. Ultimately, subconscious attachment is a natural part of the human experience. It is a sign that someone had an impact on you for better or for worse. However, while it is normal to think about people from the past, it is also important to recognize when those thoughts are preventing you from fully living in the present. By understanding the reasons behind your subconscious attachment, you can begin to let go of the mental hold they have on you and create space for new experiences, growth, and healing. When someone is always on your mind without any communication, it could be due to a spiritual or energetic connection. Many people believe that human connections go beyond physical interactions and extend into unseen realms of energy, intuition, and spiritual bonds. This concept is found in various spiritual traditions, including Eastern philosophies, metaphysical studies, and even modern psychology. The idea is that when two people share a deep connection, one explanation for this phenomenon is the idea of soul ties or karmic connections. In spiritual traditions like Hinduism and Buddhism, it is believed that souls can be linked across lifetimes. When you meet someone with whom you share a karmic bond, their presence can leave a lasting imprint on your mind and emotions. This is why, even without communication, they may continue to occupy your thoughts as if they are still a part of your present life. These connections often come with strong emotions, either love, another perspective comes from the idea of telepathic connections. Some people believe that when two individuals have a strong emotional or spiritual bond, they can sense each other's energy even from a distance. Have you ever suddenly thought of someone, and moments later they text or call you? Or have you ever felt a sudden wave of emotion, and later found out that something significant happened to the person you were thinking about? These experiences suggest that there may be an unseen force at play, one that connects people beyond physical communication. From a psychological perspective, this could be explained by the subconscious mind picking up on subtle patterns. If you have shared many deep moments with someone, your brain may be attuned to their energy, predicting their presence in ways that feel almost mystical. While science does not fully explain this phenomenon, countless people have reported feeling deeply connected to someone despite being physically distant. In many spiritual traditions, it is believed that energy lingers where strong emotions were once exchanged. This is why places, objects, or even certain songs can trigger thoughts of a specific person. If you have shared intense emotional moments with someone, their energy may still be present in your subconscious, surfacing in unexpected ways. Some believe that this is due to the concept of energetic cords. There is also the belief that when someone is thinking about you, you may sense it intuitively. Some spiritual traditions suggest that if a person is frequently on your mind, it may be because they are also thinking of you. This idea aligns with the notion that thoughts and emotions carry energy, which can travel beyond physical space and time. While this is not scientifically proved, many people have experienced moments where they suddenly felt connected to someone, only to later discover that the person was thinking of them at the same time. For those who are sensitive to energy, these connections can feel overwhelming. It may feel as though a part of you is still emotionally attached to someone, even when you have consciously tried to move on. This is why many spiritual practices focus on energy clearing and detachment rituals, such as meditation, cord-cutting exercises, or simply setting an intention to release any lingering energetic ties. These practices can help bring closure and restore emotional balance. Ultimately, the mind and soul are deeply interconnected, and the people who leave a strong impression on us often remain with us in ways we do not fully understand. Whether through spiritual ties, energetic connections, or deep emotional bonds, their presence in our thoughts may be a sign of something greater, either an unresolved lesson, a deep soul connection, or a call to heal and move forward. When someone is always on your mind without any communication, it may be a sign that you need closure or action. The human mind does not like unresolved situations, and when a relationship or connection ends abruptly or without clarity, it tends to linger in our thoughts. This can create a mental and emotional loop where you keep thinking about the person, replaying past events, and wondering what could have been done differently. Whether it is closure that you seek or an action that needs to be taken, the continuous presence of someone in your thoughts is often a sign that your subconscious is urging you to address unfinished emotional business. One of the biggest reasons for this mental preoccupation is the lack of clear resolution. When relationships, romantic, platonic, or familial, end suddenly or without proper discussion, the brain struggles to process the loss. Unlike a natural ending where both parties agree to part ways, an unclear ending leaves loose ends. This is why people often think about exes, old friends, or even family members they have lost contact with. The mind continues to search for an explanation or a way to make sense of what happened. If someone is on your mind frequently, it may be because you are still seeking that missing piece of understanding. Another reason for persistent thoughts is unspoken words. If you never had the chance to express your true feelings, whether love, apology, forgiveness, or even anger, those unspoken emotions can create a mental weight that keeps the person in your thoughts. You may find yourself rehearsing conversations in your head, imagining what you would say if given another opportunity. This is a common experience when a relationship ends unexpectedly, or when pride, fear, or circumstances prevented honest communication. In such cases, your mind holds on to the connection because it still wants to finish the conversation that was never had. Sometimes the presence of someone in your thoughts signals that an action needs to be taken. This could mean reaching out to the person to clear the air, apologize, seek answers, or simply check in. If the connection was meaningful and still holds value, taking action might be the only way to bring peace to your mind. However, this action does not always have to involve the other person directly. Sometimes the action needed is internal, accepting the situation, forgiving yourself or the other person, and deciding to move forward. Not every thought needs a direct response. Some simply require internal closure. There is also the possibility that your thoughts about this person are not about them at all, but rather about what they represent in your life. People often associate certain individuals with particular moments, lessons, or emotions. If you are going through a period of change, growth, or emotional reflection, you might be thinking about someone because they symbolize a past version of yourself, or a lesson you have yet to fully understand. In this case, rather than taking action toward the person, it may be more beneficial to explore what they represent in your personal journey. Another aspect to consider is expectation versus reality. Sometimes our thoughts fixate on someone because we had certain expectations that were never met. You might have envisioned a different ending to your relationship with them, expected more from them, or believed they would always be a part of your life. When reality does not align with those expectations, the mind struggles to reconcile the difference, causing recurring thoughts about the person. Accepting reality as it is, rather than as you wished it to be, is a crucial step in finding peace. If the person's presence in your mind is causing distress, taking intentional steps toward closure can help. This may include writing a letter, whether you send it or not, speaking with a trusted friend or therapist, practicing mindfulness to acknowledge and release thoughts without judgment, or engaging in rituals that symbolize letting go. Some people find that visiting a meaningful place, deleting old messages, or even creating new experiences helps shift their focus away from the past. Ultimately, if someone is always on your mind without communication, it is a sign that something within you needs attention. Whether it is closure, action, self-reflection, or emotional acceptance, addressing these thoughts consciously can help you find peace. The goal is not necessarily to erase the person from your mind, but to understand why they are there, and to use that understanding to move forward in a way that benefits your emotional well-being. When someone is always on your mind without any communication, it may not necessarily be about them, but rather about what they represent in your life. The human mind often fixates on people because they are tied to certain emotions, experiences, or phases of personal growth. In many cases, the persistent thoughts are less about missing the person and more about trying to understand an aspect of yourself. This connection could symbolize unresolved emotions, past versions of yourself, or lessons that you are still processing. One of the main reasons a person stays in your thoughts is that they are linked to a particular chapter of your life. Certain individuals enter our lives during significant moments, times of love, struggle, personal growth, or transformation. When you think about them, you may not be longing for them as a person, but for the feelings and experiences associated with that period. For example, if someone was present during a time when you were happy, independent, or discovering yourself, your mind may keep returning to them as a way of revisiting those emotions. Similarly, if they were part of a painful experience, your thoughts about them may be your mind's attempt to process and heal from that time. Sometimes the presence of someone in your thoughts reflects an unfulfilled desire or unresolved lesson. They may represent something you wanted but never fully experienced, such as a love that never reached its full potential, a friendship that ended too soon, or a dream that was left behind. Your mind holds on to them because they symbolize something greater than just the relationship itself. This is why people often think about the one that got away, or someone who influenced them deeply but is no longer in their life. The attachment is less about the individual and more about what they stood for in your personal journey. Another reason for these recurring thoughts is that the person may mirror certain qualities, fears, or aspirations within yourself. Sometimes we are drawn to people because they possess traits that we admire, desire, or even struggle with. If you constantly think about someone, ask yourself what they represent to you. Do they embody confidence, kindness, ambition, or another quality you wish to develop? Or do they remind you of an insecurity, a fear? Additionally, thoughts of someone may indicate that you have not fully let go of a past identity. If they were part of a time when you felt different, were stronger, happier, more adventurous, or even more vulnerable, your mind may be holding on to them as a way of holding on to that version of yourself. This is particularly common after major life changes, such as moving to a new place, ending a relationship, or starting a new career. The thoughts are not necessarily about wanting to reconnect with the person, but rather about reconnecting with the emotions and experiences tied to that phase of your life. Unfinished emotional processing can also keep someone in your thoughts. Even if you believe you have moved on, your subconscious may still be working through emotions related to that person. This could include unexpressed gratitude, unresolved anger, or lingering sadness. Your mind continues to bring them up because it is seeking closure or deeper understanding. This is why practices like journaling, meditation, and therapy can be helpful in bringing hidden emotions to the surface and allowing you to process them fully.